How's the Josh? Hi, sir. How's the Josh? Hi, sir. I said, how's the Josh? Hi, sir.
Let me first introduce this. I'm recording for basically any other student also who can be benefited by knowledge of this.
Yes, sir.
And here we have got Adarsh Kumar Singh from Lucknow. He has been learning tabla since he claims that at the age of
When I was in second standard.
when he was in second, at the age of around 7 years.
Around 7 or 8 years, yes, sir.
Yeah, and I think he has learnt a lot. He has got crossed all the stages, and he has been in contact with wonderful gurus of this particular field.
Yes.
So now I hand over to Adarsh. He will explain about tabla, gharanas, and all connected information best known to him. Thank you. Please, you can take on.
So, tabla is an Indian instrument, and it is basically a hand drum. It involves of two different parts. This part is called the daya, and this part is called the baya. There are various sections in a tabla as well. The last section of the tabla is called a chati. And this part, there are various gharanas in tabla. For example, Sainiya gharana, Rajasthani gharana, Banarsi gharana. You get to choose a gharana you want to listen. There are the playing style is very different. The beats and tals and tablas are very different. So you get to choose the gharana you want to start learning in, which is basically, it's the courtesy of your ustad or your master or your teacher. Then you start learning the tabla, and there are various n number of qaidas. There are infinite number of qaidas you can create, you can learn, and you can continue practicing tabla. The greatest maestro tabla has ever seen is Ustad Zakir Hussain. And if you'd allow me, sir, I'd like to play something for you.
Yeah, play something, please.
Sir, I would play with something which is called as Uthan. Uthan is basically a 9-beat qaida which is played before starting to play tabla for a performance or anything. So it goes as tirikit ta, tirikit dha, tirikit dha, tirikit tak ta, tirikit tak, tirikit tik tak, tirikit dhati dha, kirdhati dha, kirdhati dha. I will play it a little faster, sir. Now I will play a qaida, or I will just narrate it to you. The qaida is of a teen tal qaida. Teen tal is basically a 16-beat bass tal, which goes as dha din din dha, dha din din dha, dha tin tin ta, ta din din dha. And there are n number of qaidas you can play on this beat. And for example, I'll tell you about a qaida called dhati dhage nadha tirikit dhati dhage tinna kinna tati take nata tirikit dhati dhage dhinna ginna. And when you increase the speed, it goes like dhati dhage nada tirikit dhati dhage tinna kinna tati take nada tirikit dhati dhage tinna kinna dhati dhage nada tirikit dhati dhage nada tirikit dhati dhage nada tirikit dhati dhage tinna tati take nada tirikit dhati dhage nada tirikit dhati dhage nada tirikit dhati dhage tinna.
Okay, now tell me, how many varieties of tabla generally you have seen or do exist in the musical industry?
There is nothing as varieties of tabla. It's about the variety of the pitch of the tabla. For example, sir.
Okay, it means there are only daya and baya, two tablas.
Yes, sir. There are only two tablas, daya and baya, and the size and the pitch of the tabla varies according to person. For example, a person with big hands like me would require a tabla not less than 5.5 inch on the right daya. A person with a slightly smaller hands would require a tabla of a 5 inch or a 4.5 inch diameter. And
Okay.
if I am the lead percussionist of the orchestra, I would require a tabla of a higher pitch. And if I am a tabla artist who's just being supporting artist for the main artist, I would choose a tabla of a lower intensity.
So in this tabla only the adjustment is available.
No, sir. It's about there is different ways. For example, this tabla, although it has been exposed in the air for a very long time, so the pitch of the tabla has gone low. But you can see the strings right here.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
I
so,
can.
so these four strings are not covered totally. It was only three in the starting. I put the fourth string with the help of a pitching hammer, which we get with tabla. So the pitch gets high. Also, you could get high pitched tablas with. You could also get high pitched tablas while you're buying one.
Okay. How much does a tabla cost? Like both the sets?
Sir, it depends on person to persons and depends. Depends upon tabla to tabla. A tabla can
Okay. The
start.
tabla which you have kept, these two, how much does it cost?
Sir, this tabla which I have with me right now is of 12,000.
Both.
Yes, sir. The whole set.
And how long, like the lifespan is of tabla?
Sir, it's about how you take care of the tabla. If you take care of the tabla, it might last for decades.
Okay.
So this in fact is my first tabla that I ever bought, and it's still in use and still in the perfect condition.
If I want to buy a tabla, from where I can buy it?
So you can buy it from any musical shop which provides tabla, but you need to make sure that you buy it of a good quality. So if you are a beginner or an amateur in tabla, you should take your master or your teacher with you, so that you could go and check for so your teacher could go and check for the tabla's quality, the build quality. And if you're a person who's been playing for quite a long time, you can go and buy it for yourself.
Which are the competitions held at the national level or state level for this kind of people, like who are into this art? Like which all competition? Even you must have faced some competition.
Sir, no, sir. I have never been into competitions. My whole aim to learn tabla was because I really like music and I like playing tabla. I watched a video of Zakir Hussain when I was very young, and I got very inspired. But I had never the intentions of going to a competition. Though I have performed in competitions at inter-school levels, and tabla competitions are basically organized by private institutions
Okay.
to promote new and upcoming artists. That is the main because I don't believe, sir, I have seen any national level competitions about tabla. There are national level examinations for tabla.
Okay. That's what I do not have much knowledge about this instrument.
Yes.
And if like a person like me wants to start, how much time does it take? Like spend like a minimum period when one is able to learn some basics?
Sir, you would at least require 6 months to know about the tabla, about the basics, about the hand movements. The main problem in tabla is with the hand movements, and then you can go and learn. For example, sir, my teacher, Ustad Sharad Patra, he is my teacher, but he also is learning for the past 32 years, and he is still learning. So that is one thing, that you can never stop learning tabla. You can make tunes out of yourself, you can make beats, and you can practice your hand movements even faster.
I have not understood the concept of these gharanas. Like who is the person who dictates that this is that gharana, this is that gharana?
So this has been since the time of the Rajwada families. So in that the shagirds of big musicians, for example, the shagird of Tansen has been the inventor of Saini Gharana. So, and from that, it is the descendants of the big maestros in music teach on their legacy and pass on their legacy to the young ones. And according to the teachers, these gharanas were made, and then the students taught got to know about the gharanas of different. For example, a person who's a student of a teacher who is performing arts from a Saini gharana, then the predecessors of those teachers, I mean the predecessor teachers of that particular person would be a student of Tansen.
And like Agra Gharana, Gwalior Gharana, Kirana Gharana, what all these are?
That's what I'm saying, sir. So a person of a music maestro at that point of time might be playing in Agra at that point of time, and his students were either would call his students, or they would be learning from the Agra Gharana, which means he would be learning from the maestro of Agra.
Okay, because once I got a chance to attend a function where few people were, few artists actually I should say, few artists were performing, and one boy, I don't remember his name, but he came is that even his grandfather was some Padam Shri for tabla and something like that. And in fact, I met one more person also who came from England to learn tabla somewhere in Allahabad.
And that must be a person who will be learning from the Banarsi Gharana, sir.
Okay. And this young boy, a graduate, already a graduate, but he said, I've got liking for tabla, and all the way he traveled from England to this, and he said, I've got plans to stay here for 2 years.
I'd like to tell you one very interesting fact about tabla, sir. So tabla is that one instrument that if you master this and you've got the hands on it, you can play almost every percussion instrument available in the market. For example, I have never taken any coaching for any instrument other than tabla. But since I have my hand set on tabla so well, I can play congo, bongo, clap box, djembe, and tambourine, and even drums if you have the knowledge of the beats.
Harmonium also?
Sir, I have tried my hands on harmonium. It's not for me.
Okay, it's not for you.
So I practice with harmonium all the time.
In a lot of movies, tabla has been a very important instrument.
Yes,
and
sir.
A lot of very famous songs have come with the tabla. Name few.
So there are many songs. For example, there was a movie Rockstar, and there's a very famous song Kun Faya Kun. It had a loop of 8-beat tabla. There is a web series on Amazon Prime Video called Bandish Bandits, and it is basically a web series based on the Indian classical music. And they have been singing songs which have provided tabla in it. For example, there's a song Lab Par Aaye. There's a song Jago Mohan Pyare. All of these songs. In fact, the modern songs in today's world also have tabla in it, just to give it a rural touch so that it becomes a big hit in people.
Name a few tabla maestros, very famous maestro, other than Zakir Hussain Saab.
Sir, Ustad Allah Rakha Khan. Okay. Sir, Ustad, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name right now, sir. Ustad.
Even on that day, there was a first time I had seen a lady tabla maestro, and well, I could not understand anything, but yes, I knew there's a rhythmic sound coming, and I was enjoying. I also enjoy the music even if I don't understand, and that habit actually I got developed like initially when I went to army, and in those days. This facility of, let's say, TV relay stations was not existent, especially in the hill areas. Even like though in 1982 a lot of TV towers were established before Asian Games, but still in the areas adjoining to the border, this kind of facility or dish antennas were not there, and whenever the best possible source of entertainment was the transistor. And, I enjoyed all the music because at least you are understanding something very sweet going on.
So music
So
is
from there, yeah.
sorry,
So
sorry.
I enjoyed the tabla performance of that lady also, and there was huge clapping also. So I could make out that the quality must be very high. Only I was among those few people who were not knowing anything. Rest everybody had some knowledge, and there were a lot of ustad kind of people with their dresses. I could make out, and almost 2-3 hours. Well, in fact, I feel very nice. At least something I could. I got an opportunity to listen to all such things, which are very rare occasions. You can go and see movie anytime, but listening to a tabla maestro, attending the performance, it was an opportunity. Okay, I want to know, like, for example, like what are the everything has got advantage in a day-to-day life also. We learn there are some of the, you can say, influences on us by whatever activity which you are doing. So how tabla has influenced your life, or it can influence somebody's life? What are the positivities, and in case any drawback, that also.
Yes, sir. So I believe that music brings purpose to life in anybody's life. Music is something which is enjoyed by even a child to a person who's 90 years old. Even if a child who's not being able to walk properly, but if you play a music, he would crawl a little towards the music. Music is something to be enjoyed. And sir, the thing which tabla brings to my life, sir, is discipline. Because practicing tabla although sounds very good, but practicing tabla takes a lot out of you. Because you need to sit in a particular position with your back straight for a couple of hours straight while you play, and it brings discipline that I need to wake up in the morning or in the evening, but I have to take out this particular amount of time for my tabla practice. It brings discipline. It also gets you popular among your friends that we have a person who plays tabla. In fact, in my college time, whenever there used to be an event, my friends used to push me like, please go play some tabla for everybody. And I also used to go that very enthusiastically. Playing tabla, performing tabla, yeah, performing music in front of people brings confidence to you. So that is something. And sir, there are no drawbacks. There are no drawbacks. There are temporary small things which might be problematic for people who have started learning. For example, shoulder pain while playing tabla for quite a long time. At the time of playing tabla, as in like when I'm playing tabla, tabla is not supposed to be played like this. It's supposed to be played like this. So when you keep your hands and your palms are moving, you start having a pain sensation in your shoulder. So, but that's a problem for beginners. And once you are getting a hold of it, it becomes nothing but just enjoyable time.
Okay, I want to know one more thing. Suppose a person like I want to learn, I stay in Delhi and I want to learn tabla. So you have to recommend me name of some ustad from where I can learn and I can have these classes. And what are the approximate charges for learning this? Like, you must have learned initially in Lucknow, or you learned in Ghaziabad.
So I started learning in Ghaziabad.
Okay, so can you recommend, or can you tell me something? And like the class is of the general duration of the class?
Yes, sir, definitely. So there are many ustad. For example, Ustad Arun Kumar, Ustad Utpal Ghoshal, and Ustad Utpal Ghoshal is a background tabla artist for Pandit Birju Maharaj, late Pandit Birju Maharaj, who is a Kathak maestro. These are some ustads which you can learn from. And the charges for a class are varying from the type of class you'd like. If you would go in a group class where the ustad would be sitting on a platform and there would be students around you, the charges would be approximately 500 rupees per class. And if you take private coachings for yourself at your home or at the Ustad's house or at his studio, the charges could vary around from 800 to 1200 per class, depending upon the person's availability.
Okay,
And
I'll request you if you can forward me some name and phone numbers of these ustads, especially who are around Delhi.
we'll make sure to do that, sir.
That is intention is basically to save time and not to move out of the station.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Okay,
We'll make sure to do
you can forward me on WhatsApp.
Yes, sir, sure.
Okay, any other thing which you want to tell about tabla, because this is a recording and a lot of candidates will be listening to it. So any message you want to give?
So, in terms of tabla, there's only one message I'd like to give. If you start learning tabla, basically learning tabla is like a UPSC preparation. It is going to feel frustrating in the starting because you won't be able to do as much as good. But once you get a hold of it, you'll start learning and you'll start enjoying the process. And it is going to give you benefit in some way or the other in your life.
Thank you so much. Thanks. It will be a benefit to all the listeners, and the recording, the edited recording, will forward to you all.
Sure, sir.
If you feel this assessment was useful, then tell me in the comments below. Like this video so that more people can see it, and subscribe to my channel.